All right, y'all. There's something going on with the water in Corpus Christi, Texas, man. Let's get into this one. Don't forget to
Hype me up. Hype me up. Hype me up.
That's it. Let's get into it.
Corpus Christi is completely collapsing as you could call it a town or a city, whatever you want to call it. It's collapsing because they're running out of water. Now we know exactly what the game plan is for the government when that happens. Nothing. They're doing nothing. They're doing nothing. What's going to happen is everyone that can afford to flee will move and they will escape. And everyone who can afford it, they've basically just announced that they're just going to abandon ship. They're just going to abandon the city. If you live in Corpus Christi and you can't afford to leave, that means you're going to die from lack of water because water is not going to keep coming in. Now, I'll let you guys do your own research on where the water went. But what I will say is this is not going to be the last city that this happens to. This is essentially going to happen to everywhere slowly. Like cities will just start closing because they can't get water access. And the rich will be able to keep fleeing to areas that have water up until the very end. And the people who can't afford to get out won't. This is just something to think about. I know that they're planning a bunch of data centers in Texas, and honestly a lot of like what's going on is kind of like, I don't know, it's just given me a lot of perspective of like home ownership and like where you want to be when this happens, because whether you want to admit it or not, the data says that we are going to run out of drinking water because of these AI data centers, and it's not going to be in 10, 15 years.
Hey, bro, they was about to put an AI data center near my house. I stay in New Orleans, and we got together and was like, nah, this ain't gonna work. And then the dude who was spearheading this shit, you know, he come off like a coon, bro. I mean, a raccoon. Yeah, he come off like that, bro. I'm like, you trying to mess over your own people and shit, bro. You don't even live in our community. You live with them. You know what I'm saying? You live with them. What the fuck?
It's not. It's going to be in like 5. We're going to run out of drinking water in like 5 years. We've already lost 70% of life on Earth that's non-human. So like we've already destroyed 70% of animal life, and the world is just going to continue to become.
And when she say we, y'all, she not talking about us. She talking about that. She not this. She's talking about that.
Less and less inhabitable. Guys, I talk about it all the time, and I know I'm the most annoying person ever, but like every single time you generate those AI images, you waste 13 gallons of our drinking water. Guys.
Wait, what?
And we are running out. We are in a global water crisis. If we don't figure out how to, I'm not saying you have to stop using AI. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying we have to scale back. We have to. The rich aren't worried because they already have bunkers. Guys, they have bunkers with years of supplies. It's going to be the rest of us that have to fight for the rest of whatever's left.
The years of supplies. What kind of supplies do they have that's going to last them years? It can't be anything fresh. It can't be no goddamn fresh produce. It can't be no damn, come on, man. Shit ain't going to last them no years. And then we going to find them bunkers and we going to be on some Walking Dead shit.
Of the drinkable water that the AI data centers haven't ran through. And it's going to be us getting cancer from the dirty water that the AI data centers put out. Like, it's us that's going to have to deal with these problems. So we need to stop like being uncomfortable talking about it because we're out of time. And we need to have hard conversations. I find it very annoying when I try to talk to people about this because it's something that every single one of us is going to be dealing with in the next few years. And like people are just tuned out. They're like, oh, I don't want to talk about it. Like, dude, what's your plan? Call your families, make a plan. What happens when we run out of water? Where are we going? Do we have a process of desalination? Access to it, access to anything. Like, what do you have? Make plans now. It's so fucking for real, guys. It's coming. It's here. We are getting.
Yeah, bro, this is some crazy shit because AI definitely does use a lot of water. Some countries are figuring out that if they put the AI data centers under the ocean, then we can alleviate that issue, right? And because it's underwater, it's deep in the ocean, that naturally is going to cool it because it's freezing cold the deeper you go into the ocean. So it makes a lot of sense. China is doing that. And then I found out that Corpus Christi will run out of water this year. That is crazy, dog. Corpus Christi is right on the ocean. Can't they bring in water from the ocean and get the salt out of it, basically? It didn't start with Corpus. Y'all forgot about Flint, Michigan? Shit is crazy. Stop using AI. It's completely unnecessary for everyday life. Please, 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 please. We were perfectly fine without AI. Why does the world end when we're the new adults? Man, see, that's the question right there. I always say shit gets worse as I get older. Like, damn, bro.
This is a national headline right now. Corpus Christi is running out of water. And let me tell you what, people in these areas are upset with what has gone on with the water. Lake Corpus Christi, its lowest levels since 1958, right? So this is an ongoing crisis. What is going to happen? Not only does this threaten the water supply, but it also could affect air flights nationwide in the United States, right? Because of the jet fuel production that comes out of Corpus Christi. Not only that, it could cause a nationwide spike in gas prices. That is how important this is, not to just Corpus Christi and Texas, but the entire nation, right? But first of all, the residents, right? You want good, clean drinking water in high levels for these areas, right? And as of right now, that is a problem. So my question to the people out there, right? You've seen Governor Abbott getting involved with the local policies there in Corpus Christi. What do y'all think, guys? Do you think Corpus Christi can solve this on their own, or do you think the state of Texas needs to step in and help Corpus Christi in this emergency crisis?
What they need to do is regulate these rich people who is messing up the world, bro. They are literally destroying the world for profit, and nobody's checking them, dog. Nobody is telling them, listen, bro, maybe dial back a little bit. Maybe calm your ass down, bro. If you go and look at the people responsible for ruining Earth, go look up these corporations, these LLCs and all of this kind of stuff. You will find that they all look like they come from the mountains of Caucasus, bro. I'm keeping it real with y'all. It is what it is, dog. It ain't the poor black folks in the world that's fucking up the world.
The city is about to run out of water. Not in 50 years, not in 10, this year. And here's what I need you to understand. This didn't have to happen. People saw it coming for a decade and nobody stopped it. Corpus Christi is a city of 500,000 people on the Texas coast. It's also home to some of the biggest oil refineries in the country, the kind that supply jet fuel to Texas airports and gasoline to the entire state. When the water runs out, those refineries shut down. When those refineries shut down, you feel it at the pump. So how did we get here? Well, Texas Republicans have controlled the state for 30 years. And for 30 years, their pitch to big corporations was, come to Texas and we'll take care of you. Exxon wanted to build a massive plastics plant in Corpus Christi, a joint venture with Saudi Arabia, by the way, and the city sent them a letter promising enough water to make it happen. They didn't actually have that water, they just said they did. And that was the bet. Bring in the money, figure out the water later. Later is now. Governor Abbott flew to Israel back in 2016 specifically to look at water technology. Came home, did nothing. 7 years passed. The reservoirs kept dropping, and the state, which spent 30 years recruiting all this industrial growth, left one mid-sized city to solve a problem that had never been solved in Texas before, completely on their own. And here's the part that should make you mad. When the water emergency officially hits, regular residents get their water cut by 25%. The big refineries and chemical plants, they keep their full supply because they have contracts. You tighten your belt, Exxon keeps running. Right now, one of the main reservoirs is less than 10% full. A former water official said the only thing that saves Corpus Christi at this point is a hurricane. The governor's office put out a statement saying they'll continue working on water security for the next 50 years. They can't deliver it for the next 50 months. Texas has been open for business for 30 years. Somebody has to pay the water bill. Turns out,
yeah, bro, the corporations don't pay their fair share. They get these tax cuts. They get all of these credits. They get everything to incentivize them to come or leave a place. And we get left with the bill, bro. This is some crazy shit. And when I say we, obviously I don't live in Texas, but this is a problem, dog. This is going to affect everybody. It's like the human body, bro. If your big toe or your pinky toe is missing, it's going to affect the way your whole body moves from that point on. Because guess what? When your toe gone, you're going to start walking funny. And because you're walking funny, you're going to create imbalances everywhere in your body, bro. Just because that one toe is gone, it could really start to cause pain in your neck and your joint over here because you're offsetting things. So with that being said, everything he just said is all under the same umbrella. We need the oil refineries to get the jet fuel. We need the jet fuel so that the places can get to things that they need, right? Through air traffic. We need freight. They need diesel. Everything is connected, bro. This is some crazy shit.
Corpus Christi is running out of water, but how bad is it? Seeing is believing. This is what Lake Corpus Christi looks like now. If you go by the numbers, the lake is at 10.5% of capacity, but a picture is worth 1,000 words. Instead of splashing water, the shoreline looks like an overgrown yard full of dry vegetation. Piers and boat ramps led to a no man's land of grass and weeds. This is the end result of our years-long drought, and there's no end in sight.
Growing water crisis in Corpus Christi that could soon have big consequences far beyond the coastal bend. Without significant rainfall in the future here, officials are warning that that city could face a water emergency within months and potentially run out of water next year.
This is some bullshit, man.
It can be easy to take water for granted, to forget it's a finite resource. That's why without intervention and careful planning, Texas will run out. Today, Texas is home to about 31 million people.
Oh, wow.
By 2070, 50 million people are expected to live in the Lone Star State. More people, plus a booming economy, has created a water shortage crisis.
Workers here in Texas will help shape the future of artificial intelligence.
Today, President Donald Trump announced a $500 billion investment to build AI data centers in the U.S., including at least 10 centers in Texas. KVU's Isabella Basco shows us how the move could lead to advancements.
It is what President Donald Trump calls the largest AI infrastructure project in history. The leaders of SoftBank, OpenAI, and Oracle coming together to announce the formation of Stargate.
Stargate will be building the physical and virtual infrastructure to power the next generation.
Is in the middle of a boom, not in oil or cattle, but data.
Across the state, massive data centers are popping up, powering everything from cloud storage to streaming services.
Silicon Valley tech giant Google is making its footprint bigger in Texas. The company is committing $40 billion in investments for data centers and artificial intelligence.
We see what the problem is. Shit.
Texas is on track to become the top data center market in the country. The Texas Tribune reports the surge is driven by the growing demand for artificial intelligence. The report shows data centers could more than quadruple their power use in Texas by the end of the decade, putting new pressure on the state's electric grid. The report says operators are drawn to Texas for its cheap land, abundant natural gas, and business-friendly policies. However, grid managers with ERCOT say the rapid growth is challenging how the system plans for massive new power demands.
According to the Texas Tribune, that shortage could also ripple through the state's energy economy because Corpus Christi is one of the nation's largest petroleum export hubs, and limited water supplies could disrupt refinery operations there, as well as oil exports and even the flow of jet fuel to airports across Texas.
San Antonio. Okay, we need to talk about the water crisis in Corpus Christi, Texas. The area is experiencing a severe drought and its water reservoirs are running low. The city put out this dashboard on its website saying they're not going to be able to meet the water demand by June 2027, which means they would enter into a level 1 water emergency in November of this year. That's 6 months out from when they wouldn't be able to meet the demand. But I spoke with the city manager and he tells me that that model actually may be wrong and this water emergency could happen even sooner.
The worst case is pretty, it really moves the timeline, it really moves it up.
To 2026?
It moves it from November way sooner.
Now, currently, the city has multiple groundwater and reclamation projects that are in the pipeline right now that could help them avoid this disaster. But there's a possibility those projects don't come through in time. On Tuesday, the city manager will be presenting new models to the city council. The models show different scenarios if certain projects don't come through in time. The worst case scenario is that the city could enter this water emergency sooner than expected. And when the city does enter into a water emergency, it has to make certain decisions. They could issue surcharge fees on their customers, or they could make all their customers reduce their water usage by a certain percentage. That includes.
They always make the people suffer, and they never do anything to the corporations. Man, this shit is crazy. Like, dog, Man, you have to be a delusional ass person to believe that this country will do anything in the citizens' best interest, bro. They feed us poisonous food. They poison the water. They put things in place that will destroy the water supply, the food supply, everything, dog. It's like, as long as these corporations is making money, forget the people. But you gotta remember, it's the people that put money into the corporations. Man, there has to be a middle ground, but they're not interested in finding middle ground until it's a dire situation, until it's too late. You know what I'm saying?
It's the oil refineries in the area that produce hundreds of thousands of gallons of gasoline, diesel, and jet fuel every day. The city manager said those reductions could be anywhere between 10 and 25%.
Which can have serious consequences on all of our customer classifications, including residential, commercial, and especially large volume industrial users.
But again, if these projects do come through on time, they should be okay. We'll have to tune in again on Tuesday at the city council meeting to see what these models actually show. Okay, we need to talk about the water crisis.
The politicians are failing us, and all they do is lie. They can't tell the truth, and the truth ain't in them.
Okay, so a lot of people don't know, but I live in Corpus Christi, Texas, and as you can read below, my city is about to run out of water next year. Next year, we will have no water if nothing gets resolved. And this is what I'm just trying to wrap my head around. Because what I can't wrap my head around is a city that's surrounded by a bunch of water is running out of water. Because how the fuck are we running out of water when there's all this water right here? Like, make it make sense. Like, it's that simple. This is your solution, Corpus Christi. Whoever is in charge, like, fire them, hire me. I got your solution, because it's this simple. All we got to do is get the water over there and move it over here. It's that simple. Like, come on. Like, all you got to do is just get that, filter it, whatever the fuck you got to do with it, and boom, it's drinkable, it's usable. And yeah, that's your solution, period. No tampon. Everybody in Corpus.
All right, let's do something right quick. Let's do something right quick. Corpus Christi, Texas is experiencing a water crisis. They are supposed to run out of water by 2027. My question is this. Why is that even the case if they are literally a coastal city surrounded by the Gulf of Mexico? Why can't they just get the water from there? I know the answer already, but I need y'all to see it. Short answer, they can use ocean water, but it's expensive, energy heavy, and not built out yet. Let's break it down simply. The Gulf of Mexico has plenty of water, but it's salt water, and humans can't drink that. To make it usable, you need a process called desalination, removing salt impurities from seawater. Why they don't just do it? Okay, because it's expensive. Plant costs hundreds of millions to billions to build. The water produced is more expensive per gallon than freshwater sources. Cities try cheaper options first. Rivers, reservoirs, groundwater. It uses a lot of energy. So in other words, we basically be using a lot of energy that we shouldn't be using in the first place because of the AI data centers and all of that kind of stuff to fix the problem that the AI data centers are creating. It's wild to think about it, honestly, dog.
Corpus Christi is running out of water, and now city leaders in Corpus Christi are turning to San Antonio for help. Today, council discussed a possible partnership with CPS Energy to explore building a desalination plant at the Barney Davis Power Plant. It's a site owned by CPS Energy that already pulls seawater in from the Laguna Madre. But this idea isn't new. It's been proposed before and stalled over cost, environmental concerns, and permitting. Now, with reservoir levels near historic lows, pressure from the state building, leaders say they're trying to move faster.
They always try to move faster when it's too late. Y'all should have been trying to figure this out 10 years ago, 15, 20 years ago.
Major questions remain. How much will it cost? How long will it take to build? And could San Antonio eventually benefit from this water? For now, it's just a first step, but one that could shape the future of water in South Texas.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. How big is Lake Corpus Christi or whatever it's called? Because we got a big ass lake behind me. Yeah, this is some crazy shit, man. I gotta figure this out, man. Exactly how big is Lake Corpus Christi or whatever that reservoir is called that's important in Corpus Christi. I might have the name wrong. And then compare that to Lake Pontchartrain. I know Lake Pontchartrain has to be bigger. Okay, full capacity, 256,000 acre feet, tight water, freshwater reservoir, man-made. So a man made this shit. Okay, so obviously it ain't gonna be nowhere near the size of Lake Pontchartrain. Yeah, man, shit. So damn. Yeah, this is not good, bro. This is Flint all over again. But with Flint, I don't know what caused the water to be dirty and all that. We're not dealing with a dirty water situation. We're dealing with a ain't no water situation, bro. Crazy. Anyways, guys, I hope y'all enjoyed this reaction. Don't forget to
Hype me up. Hype me up.
and I'm gonna get at y'all on the next one. Y'all be cool.